You know, when you were a kid, sometimes our caregivers want us to finish all the food on our plate, and they say, if you finish all the food on your plate, you're a good kid, you're a good girl, you're a good boy. The consequences of not finishing all the food on your plate might have been denial of dessert, maybe verbal scolding, maybe even harsher consequences. So the emotion that's being trained by our caregivers or our parents, mostly unconsciously probably by our caregivers, is happiness. Finishing all the food on your plate is happiness. So fast forward, it's now you're 40 years old and portion sizes are not appropriate typically for adults anymore. They're too large. And for the individual eating the food, it might be way too much food for that person and their active lifestyle. However, they are programmed now that happiness equals finishing all the food on their plate. So it's a program that's been begun in childhood and continues on to this day. So how do we change that programming? How do we get to the emotional part of changing how we think about eating and how we feel about eating? There are many ways to do that, but what you need to recognize is thoughts are things, thoughts are creative, thoughts are important because we can think anything. We have these brains, we have these minds that can literally think anything. We can even think things we don't believe. But if we think something we don't believe, over time we will start to believe it. We all have something, a part of our brain in the limbic system of our brain called the reticular activating system. Now, the reticular activating system is very important because it causes us to focus on what we put our attention on. It also can obscure our awareness, and we may not even be aware of things in our environment because the reticular activating system has not prioritized that attention. For example, have you ever tried to find something and you can't find that object in your home, and then your friend or your family member, they find it very easily? Well, that object might have been in a different place than you expected. So we tend to move in the direction of what we expect. So let's go back to the overeating example. What we can use are techniques and methods, hypnotic techniques and methods can be very effective for emotional eating. I don't know of any other weight loss program that can get to the emotional part of overeating and all the emotions associated with food and exercise that we tend to have. And the reason for that is emotions begin in the subconscious mind. Hypnosis is a powerful tool to access the subconscious mind. Emotions begin in the subconscious mind, and then they move through to the conscious mind and then react out into the physical world. So what we can do is literally, with hypnosis and hypnotic techniques, go into the hard drive, so to speak, of your mind, remove all those patterns and programs you don't want or need anymore because we're directly accessing the subconscious. Clean all that out, those programs that finishing all the food on your plate equals happiness. You don't need that or want that anymore. It's causing you to be overweight. It's causing health problems, possibly. Removing all those patterns and programs we don't want or need anymore, clearing all that out, and then putting in new positive programs to create that change that you're wanting. So it's really like the perfect marriage between your conscious desire to lose weight, your conscious desire to get healthy, to feel better, to have more energy, all those things, those outcomes that you're wanting, and then reprogram in the subconscious. It's fast, it's effective, it's very powerful, and can last a lifetime.